Enjoying Fortnite with the lads.
Oh yes. Yes. Episode 19.
I'm just trying to get it all out now before we fucking. Let's retweet this. Yeah, man, but shit, did you see what's going on in the fighting game community? At least with fucking stuff like, what the fuck is it called? Rambly Fantasy?
Oh, what about it?
Dude, we're fucking getting bursting Granblue Fantasy.
Yeah, I saw the update. Well, I would have preferred they gave it rollback, but
I'm pretty sure it already has rollback though.
no, it doesn't. It doesn't have proper rollback.
Oh, okay.
That's like saying Tekken has rollback. No, it has 3 frames of rollback. It may as well not have any. It's still delay based.
Oh yo.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Let me load up. L questions.
Time to get the big shit working.
Oh my god.
You alright?
No. Yeah, I am fine, but it's just so funny. Somebody took a photo of like someone selling kamote on the street.
Okay.
And they spelled violet as a violent kamote.
Yo, send me a picture of this.
Yeah, I'll retweet it right now. Kamote. Yeah, you heard of sweet potato? How about violent sweet potato?
Violent.
Violent kamote. That's hilarious.
God, can you hear it already? Can you hear it? Fucking. One of them just has little fucking violet hair and shit as well.
God, that's hilarious.
Ayo.
Sometimes when something's misspelled, you can't even get mad at it because it's just way too funny.
Dude, fucking misspells are the best things.
Yeah.
Let's get your stream up on the side.
And looking at the comparison of Ryu and Chun-Li from Street Fighter 4 to 6, it's nice. It's actually, there's something very cathartic and nice about seeing them get old.
Nah, because from what I remember, everywhere that isn't like war, Messiah City or something like that, doesn't have 5G, so you're just kind of sitting on shit.
Yeah. We're starting in 25 seconds.
Let's go. There we go, that should be the last one.
Alright, good afternoon, Foxtrots. It is currently 2 minutes before 5 in the afternoon in the Philippines. So the sun is gone, or rather setting by now, so it's not that hot anymore. And what time is it over there in UK?
In the UK?
Yep.
Oh, it's 10.
10
a.m. on the dot.
Oh my god, there we go. We are finally back. And just on the dot, we got raided by the great Hifumi Dot. Hello, Hifumi. Printerman Inkers. Alright, Foxtrot. So for today, our topic of Shrine Talk episode 19 is going to be about graduating VTubers. So we're not gonna, the topic itself is not really going to be particularly about the VTubers that have been graduating, but we are gonna discuss, the circumstances surrounding them, but the main crux of the topic is really going to be about the whole plot. Okay, we're back. Alright, so like I was saying, the whole focus of the topic is to discuss the whole trend, or the recent flux of VTubers graduating. Now, before we proceed, I would just like to remind everyone that, I always try to keep my streams very uplifting and very wholesome and positive, but I am very aware that this is a serious issue. So we are going to be as objective as possible. And of course, whenever we can, when the circumstance requires it, we are not going to mention any names. Because of course, I want to avoid bringing people into the spotlight when they don't want to, or when something has happened so far in the past that it's not that relevant anymore. Anyhow, that having been said, let us begin. So first off, just to give you a rundown of how today is going to go. The goal for the talk for today, we're going to explain what graduation means beyond the act of ending your career as a VTuber, or as an identity of a VTuber. And of course, there has been a trend of VTubers leaving the community or graduating quite frequently, and we're going to shed some light as to why that has been happening. Another is we are going to give advice on how to properly deal with a VTuber graduating or leaving the community. Alright. Now, first things first, very basic but very important question. Kazuki, what's your definition of graduating in the VTubing community?
So, the whole procedure, at least the act of graduating, is leaving the community. Not leaving the community behind, but leaving your identity as said streamer in the whole VTubing world. This could mean that you could still be active in the community as yourself, but you're no longer
Alright, sorry we got cut off. What you were saying?
Okay, no, yeah, but the act of leaving the community, it's you're still going to be active in the community, or you still can be active in the community, but you will no longer put yourself in the shoes of your VTuber. You'll just be more yourself, you know. You can still attend streams. It doesn't being able to graduate doesn't mean that you're going to just disappear. It just means that you're not going to be the person that you were as a VTuber. There are other definitions for graduation as well, like maybe wanting to do a redesign, you know, or completely ditch your old personality and graduate from that into a new personality. But we'll talk about that later.
Okay, for me, when you graduate as a VTuber, it's, in layman's terms, it's like when a content creator or a professional athlete, whatever, it's when they retire with very slim to no chance of them, like, coming back into the scene. So, for example, if a VTuber were to graduate for real, you would not see them stream anymore or tweet anymore. But that doesn't mean that the person behind the VTuber is going to stop any VTuber-related content, unless explicitly said whenever they announce that, yeah, I'm graduating. Because what some people do, which we will also discuss later, yeah, this is a fairly complicated topic. When VTubers graduate, usually you have two kinds of graduations. One is when they really just stop, like they are going to go another career path, or they're gonna move on to another thing in their life, like they're really gonna shelf, so to speak, the whole concept of streaming and creating content as a VTuber. Another is when certain circumstances forces them, or it convinces them to graduate, but they will re-emerge as a different identity or a different brand, whether it be a new one or an old one. So to put what I just said in simpler terms, you have a VTuber that will end for good, and you have another that will usually rebrand or do something else.
Pretty much. There are many names that could be said, but we are avoiding name calling. But
Give me a second.
okay, it's alright. But if you're looking at the big skylight or the big big community of a whole, or the big people that have probably done it, look no further to Hololive, because of course there are pretty good people who have changed or have graduated because of circumstances, and they have either rebranded or they've left the community completely to go onto their own little path.
Yep. I mean, to give an example, most prominent example, of course, is Kylie Coco. Yep. And even before she graduated, a lot of people already knew who Kylie Coco was. Mm-hmm. And of course, I'm not gonna mention it here, but like everyone knows who she is now, and she still graduated. She's not the Dragon of Hololive anymore. No, the Dragon of Hololive spread her wings and really is still changing the damn world, so to speak.
Yeah.
She's still bringing laughter and smiles on people's faces as she did before, under a different identity though. But
she's gone back to her personal identity.
Yep, she has. She definitely has. Now, to continue from that topic, we're moving on to the next question. Have you ever watched a VTuber graduation?
Oh yes, and half the time they get really emotional.
Oh yeah, they really do.
It's the best way to put it is like looking at a dying member of the family, if you want to put it in dark terms. But yeah, I know, dark terms, isn't it?
That is dark.
But another way to look at it is seeing, I don't know, if, let's say a friend or family member go from where you used to know them every single day to suddenly, I don't know, moving to another country because they got another job, you know? You make a big party out of it, you can talk about it, you just embrace the fact that it's the end of life cycle for them, at least for their VTuber personality, you know?
The end of one stage while another one begins, so to speak.
That's it.
Well, the one VTuber graduation I did watch was Kylie Coco's. I bawled my eyes out at the end.
I think everyone did.
I mean, like, you cannot understate how much of an influence Kylie Coco had in the VTuber community. I mean, a lot of people credit Coco to as the reason why they fell down the VTuber hole, so to speak.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe there were a couple of Hololivers that got hold of your foot, perhaps. For me, it was Shishiro Botan. I love Shishiro, I still do. I love Botan. But
everyone loves a little bit Botan. The gamer cat.
The gamer cat. Dude, the lioness of Hololive. So prolific as a video game player. But,
I know.
So yeah, she pulled a leg into that Hololive hole. But it was Kylie Coco that really dragged my whole body into that hole. I mean, I don't think it's unfair to say that Holo EN would not exist were it not for Coco and Hachama. But I forgot where I heard this quote, but Hachima built the blueprint while Coco built the damn bridge between Hololive and the international community.
That's true.
Yeah, I forgot where I heard that quote, but it's not my quote. I just want to say it's not my quote. I heard it in
I believe
another
it's from Coco themselves.
Huh?
I believe it was from Coco themselves.
Well, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, that is a very accurate and very nice metaphor. Like, Hachima definitely built the blueprint. Because she was speaking... She does speak English, albeit with a very thick Japanese accent. But she still speaks English. Yeah, she did build the blueprint. She was definitely one of the first Hololive VTubers that even the English-speaking community watched, because she does code change as she streams. But Coco was definitely the one that built that bridge, because she practically streamed in both languages at the same time. And she interacted with both communities at the same time as well.
Exactly.
And also, she had this very international culture integrated into how she did content, because she was very, how do I say this? She was very expressive and not afraid of whatever kind of content she ever did. She was very creative.
Unhinged.
Yeah, there you go. She was very unhinged. And that's a very Western content creation mindset. Like, if you think that's gonna be content, you may as well try it.
I'm pretty sure that
for Japanese content creation, they tend to be still very held back or a bit more conservative. But Coco was not like that. No, she was not bound by anything.
I'm pretty sure that most of the community, at least most of the VTuber community right now, has got some kind of inspiration from Coco.
Yeah,
mainly because when you look at if Coco wasn't there, right, the community would have been a lot less unhinged, because there would have been a lot more it would have happened eventually, but
not this
there would have been this expectation. Yeah. Because Coco's whole existence basically gave everyone the idea and the reality of, like, hey, I don't have to be doing this when I can be expressive. I can be who I want to be. I can say whatever I want to say, and I can be unhinged because everyone likes that little bit of energy, you know?
That, and also, like, Kiryu Cocos basically, I think this idea is good. I'm gonna make content out of this shit. That was literally her philosophy whenever she made, like, streams. I think this is a good idea. I'm gonna fucking go through with it. But normally, a Hololive content creation is very based on, like, research and trends and whatnot. But Kiryu Coco was basically doing something else. Like, if you noticed, when she was still active, like peak active, most of the other Hololive members were still sticking to their own thing or something that's trending within their own little chamber, so to speak. So, like, during the time when Monster Hunter was being played, a lot of them played, but you still have people like Okayu, for example, who is still playing retro JRPGs and whatnot. But Kiryu Coco was very inconsistent in a good way with what she streamed. Like, one day she'd be streaming Ark, and then the next day she's streaming some obscure horror game. Then the day after that, a Kuso game. Like, you just had no clue what she was going to stream, and it was very chaotic, and that's really part of her charm.
It's structured chaos.
It's structured chaos, yes. Okay, next question is, we are slowly moving on now to the meat of the topic. So, what are the most common reasons a VTuber graduates? Let's say three reasons.
3 reasons?
Three reasons, yeah.
So, the best ways I can say this is we're talking one, they're either not ready to continue as their VTuber personality. This could be, say, I don't know, they're not mentally ready to go ahead and act as their VTuber anymore because they're too busy trying to do things in their real life, you know? Number two, they've been hired into a company.
Yeah.
This is especially big with bigger VTubers. We're talking I don't want to say any names. But you would look towards the company Nijisanji for that, as Nijisanji has a lot of recruitment for people who are ex-VTubers.
Yep.
Or ex-streamers.
Yep.
Um,
Recruitment cycle for Nijisanji is a lot more frequent than Hololive, for example. And of course, this whole image of Hololive being very structured and arguably the biggest corporate VTuber company, it intimidates a lot as well of people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I guess the big last one is something that is very rough to say. It would be cancel culture.
Oh, good lord, yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. No one wants to talk about cancel culture, but it is super important because
it is something very conservative and something bad that we should talk about. So yeah, cancel culture is very toxic. Now, just to shed some light on this, there is a difference between cancel culture and criticism. There is a big difference. Calling someone out for something negative that they clearly did, that is plain criticism. Canceling them, however, is a whole different story. Like, whether or not it is proven solid or not that they did something recently or in the past, you are essentially not giving them even a chance to explain. You are already heavily biased against them, and you are treating them as if they were the exact same person as they were when the controversy happened. And that is just plain unfair. And I mean, if I were to give an example of cancel culture, not particularly VTubing, but like, whenever a content creator or usually a content creator on like YouTube or Twitch, for example, like let's say they get caught up or they get caught cheating in a game or a tournament or whatever, suddenly everyone starts canceling them by like not giving them a chance to defend themselves, which people should be. No matter how much of a scummy controversy it is, people should still be given a chance to share their perspective, their side of the story. It's only fair that way. Beyond that, also, when they want to legitimately improve themselves and try to redeem themselves, you're like, no, fuck you, we're not giving you a second chance. And worse is that you immediately prevent them when they try to get, like, let's say for example this person cheats in like the Dota community. It's like you're red flagging this person for every other community, not even just MOBAs, but like FPS, speedrunning games, platforming games, etc. You red flag this person and like, yeah, they're a fucking cheater, they're a piece of shit, blah 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 blah. Like that's straight up, that is straight up cancel culture. Now again, I mentioned earlier, there's a big difference between cancel culture and criticism. And when you encounter someone who is very controversial, like broke some rules, did something bad, you're supposed to only get the parties involved, only the relevant parties involved. And you really should limit the scope to the issue itself. because it just paints a really bad picture when, well, not just really paint a bad picture, but like you are introducing stuff that is very irrelevant and only for the sake of just bringing them down even more.
I think the biggest example I can give in the VTubing community in general is, like you said, say an issue goes, and there's an issue going on, and say, I don't know, someone has fucked up, but the other person sees this as an opportunity to boost their numbers.
Oh my god, yeah, don't get me started, but yeah, I see that a lot too.
It happens so much, but
Virtue
it's not just
signaling.
that. It's not just that as well. There's also there's also other factors as well. Like, for example, say people want to say, I don't know, someone's gotten out of a relationship, for example, okay? Especially in the VTuber community, right? It's normally the most healthy thing to do would be to keep it between the two people, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
But the moment for it to become cancel culture is to reveal it to everyone and make one of the parties seem like the bad guy, you know?
Oh yeah.
Which is also extremely common in this community.
Yep. I mean, like, any community, but even in the VTubing community, oh my goodness, it's really bad. Now for me, the most common reasons, at least from what I've seen, and let me just get this straight. The reason why these are my top 3 is because I tend to keep myself intentionally out of the loop when it comes to VTuber controversy or drama. The only VTuber dramas are... Sorry, even I hate using the word drama. But some of them are very dramatic, like, oh my god, this is such a small issue and you guys just blew it out of proportion. But, the only VTuber controversies and dramas I've seen are based on what I see on Twitter. And sometimes YouTube covered by other content creators.
Oh
but
yeah,
usually
YouTube does have a big thing on it.
Yeah,
Like,
the top 3 reasons that I see why a VTuber graduates, outside of the obvious like controversy, they gotta end their career. But first off is definitely, I would say, burnout, usually.
oh yes.
Burnout for sure. Like, when they try VTubing and they are exposed to the good and bad of the VTubing community, and when we're talking about bad, I'm talking about the backseaters, the very toxic fan base that can't differentiate parasocial relationship with an actual relationship.
Yep. Very common thing that's happened recently.
Yes, which we will briefly talk about. There's also people who are very toxic because they compare said VTuber with another VTuber, be they usually a bigger VTuber. Like, oh my god, you're just a copy of this VTuber. It's like, bro, fucking right. Wow.
Yeah, that becomes extremely demotivating.
Yeah, even though you know it's wrong, you're just like, I don't want to deal with this shit. So yeah, you have burnout. Number 2 is kind of related to what Kazuki said a while ago. It's usually when they're in a circumstance forces them to cease VTubing activities, be it a hiatus, an indefinite hiatus, or an alright graduation. So this can include getting hired by a company, or they lose their job, so they have to they lose their job and they cannot use VTubing, their current VTubing, as their sole monetary source, so they have to look for another job first and focus on that. Another could also be like private and family related circumstances causes them to just like yeah, I have to focus on my personal life first for now. So gonna graduate.
Self-progression and everything as well.
Yeah, that too. And number 3, undoubtedly, and definitely one of the most recent. It has become very common nowadays as well. Controversy.
Oh,
So,
yes.
yeah, controversy. Whenever a VTuber fucks up, there is a depending on the controversy itself. But if it's a very viral type of controversy, like we have seen so many times, it usually causes them to graduate. It just straight up, that's what causes them to graduate. A big fuck up is usually what causes VTubers to graduate.
Exactly.
Yep. So unlike what people may think, sorry. Because if I say people think, then I'm like, yeah, I have evidence to say so. But like, I may have evidence, but I don't have the evidence that's the only thing. But like, one of the things, so, it's not really what people may think that VTubers choose to graduate. Sometimes VTubers have to graduate, so to speak.
It's mainly for their own safety sometimes.
Yes, sometimes for their own safety.
I definitely agree, because there are just like the whole how would I say? Do you know when the Twitch raids happened?
Oh, yeah, the bot
Twitch
raids.
Police. It was not just the bot raids, but I'm talking like the police riot team raids.
Oh my god, that people died because of that. Jesus Christ.
Now, I believe, from what I remember hearing,
somebody got doxxed.
Somebody got doxxed, and this has happened to them because, well, of course, it's like someone ends up saying one thing bad about them, it escalates, somebody ends up doxing them, and then there we go, we got the giant circle happening again, you know?
Oh my goodness, yep, this does happen. And I mean, like, you look at someone like Kylie Coco. A lot of people have theorized as to why she graduated, and personally, it's a bit of a mix of she chose to and she had to. I personally think, and again, this is just my opinion, this is not a fact, it's just an opinion. I think the reason why she graduated from Hololive was because she was not allowed to do a lot of things she wanted to do. And probably because during once she came back after that really stupid controversy about her mentioning Taiwan.
The country.
I'm gonna fucking say it. I'm on Twitch.
Okay.
I'm on Twitch. Small VTuber. What the fuck can you do? Mentioning that Taiwan is a country, got a lot of people from China really mad, and it's that anger and hatred spread throughout the rest of the Hololive Hololive talent. So it wasn't just Coco that was being harassed. I mean, other VTubers within Hololive were being harassed as well.
It was definitely something as well, because you're right.
Yeah.
It was definitely something as well because of the whole controversy as well. I'm pretty sure the whole Chinese branch got dismantled because of it.
And because like personally, that's a good thing about being an indie VTuber. I have control over myself. I don't have to worry about controversy like weighing down on a company. I am my own company. Could give a shit.
Self-employment. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like I can understand that Hololive getting pressured by their Chinese viewer base. But again, for brevity's sake, I'm just gonna say this real quick. Do note that what you see from most of the toxic Chinese viewers does not reflect every Chinese viewer. Please, for the love of God, if you have a brain cell, you should know that.
There's already enough going around, and come on, not every Chinese person is like that.
Yeah, and it's very unfair to do that. I mean, it's the equivalent of like, remember when Trump was president and a lot of people were making fun of Donald Trump? And there were some people that were like, yeah, of course Americans would vote for Trump because they are just as dumb as he is. And that's like saying every American is dumb. No, 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 no. Trump may be president of America, but he does not represent every single American. Does not. I mean, like, yeah, he's very racist, and sure, racism is a big problem in the States. But it's very unfair to assume that every American is racist. So, in that light, it's very unfair for you to assume that every Chinese person is a toxic POS. No matter how many times you've encountered that, be it IRL or in another gaming community, like, you could say, oh my god, Inari, I have faced so many cheaters and toxic players in games, and they're always Chinese players. Fair. But, I can say the same as well. I've encountered so many cheaters in Rainbow Six Siege, and every time I tell myself, like, I hope you're not Chinese. And I see their name, I'm like, oh my god, it's very Chinese. Shit. But whenever I hear a Chinese person talk in Siege, I do not immediately assume they are cheaters. That's just unfair. Because even some of them, there are members in their own community that absolutely hate it. They absolutely hate their own, their own countrymen for being toxic pieces of shit. And even like Southeast Asian gamers, especially in MOBA, we are known for being very toxic. But don't think for a second that people who are based in Southeast Asia are toxic immediately. No. Usually one of the biggest haters of Southeast Asian gamers are actually Southeast Asians themselves. Like, yeah, you go to the Philippines, you go to an internet cafe, oh my god, people are toxic. And literally your Filipino friend will be like, yeah, these people are pieces of shit. They're so fucking
I don't think
toxic.
I've ever gone a day without hearing Butangina.
Butangina, yeah, exactly. But anyway, like, again, I just wanted to put that out there before we continued. But
that's fine.
Yeah. But man, yeah, these controversies really, that's one of the side effects of controversies like these, because the internet can be very stupid at times, and like, just because this VTuber is from, oh my god, I can only imagine. Like, I did not search for this, but during the peak tension of the invasion of Russia in Ukraine, I can imagine how many people canceled Russians.
Oh yeah.
That was very unfair. I mean, I have some Russian friends and one or two Russian viewers. I haven't seen them in a long time, and I'm very worried. But so, I'm like, first off, if you look at it objectively, not a single. Well, I'm exaggerating here, of course, but like, it's safe to say that a lot of Russians did not support that idea. Yeah, they did not support that idea because, like, Ukraine and Russia are practically blood relatives. They're practically,
they're practically the same, kind of like China and Taiwan.
Yeah, they are. And a lot of Russians have families in Ukraine, so why would they support that invasion? So to say that just because you're Russian, like, you support the invasion, no, that's not fair. It's very, very unfair.
So one thing about that as well is, I noticed while I was working as well, there was a lot of stigma around the community, especially with so we used to have I used to have a supervisor who was Russian, right?
Oh dear, yeah.
Yep. I used to have a supervisor who was Russian. He used to be very jolly and all that stuff, but the moment this whole thing went on, he disappeared. He disappeared for a few days, and definitely you definitely kind of see the community as it is when there's any kind of hate put onto one person because, well, they're this, you know. People can be ourselves. They don't look at it as a bigger picture.
It's really demoralizing. Something it can be very demoralizing. And even here in the Philippines, with the recent results of the elections, this did happen very recently. And again, some of these screenshots that I saw, some people claim to be fake. But whether they are not fake, it's just so fucked up that you can say that, yeah, that possibly happened. Like, artists being losing clients just because a certain president won. And they're like, yeah, your new president is this and that, therefore you support it. I'm like, what?
What? That don't add
Then
up.
I guess that means every German, even until now, is a Nazi, huh?
Exactly.
Like, okay,
So-
wow.
It's extremely unfair to
It's
the community.
very
and
unfair.
It's really, really unfair. And by doing that, you're not just harassing the people that are... you're not just harassing the people that are from that country or up from that culture, but you're associating them with this bad image.
And the worst thing is that Filipinos in particular, let me introduce a term for you guys. I'll type it in chat. OFW. This means overseas Filipino worker. Now, the reason why I introduced this is because Philippines is also known for OFWs. We have a lot of people working abroad, and whenever they send money back home, in whatever currency they earn their money, a portion of that, because of the exchange rate, the country earns. And that's why the country really treats its OFWs with a special amount of care. So when this whole thing happened, a lot of artists in particular were getting messages for like, yeah, I'm gonna cancel. Yeah, I'm gonna... please cancel my commission, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my god. I mean, I'm sure a lot of other big influencers were helping Filipino creatives, but one of the ones I saw was it Lily Pichu, I think. She basically said like, yeah, if you know any good Filipino artists or creatives, please like comment on this thread so I can commission them, something like that.
I think it's because Michael Reeves.
Michael Reeves,
he is
yes.
Filipino.
He is Filipino, yeah. So
And when he saw that this whole thing was happening, I swear, apparently he had a breakdown.
oh yeah,
'Cause-
I mean, because it's very depressing. As much as any Filipino out there will criticize their own country and their own countrymen, for very valid reasons, mind you, whenever something bad happens, we feel it. And I think any sane and proper thinking person will think about the same thing about their country as well. You may hate what your country has become. You can hate all of the negative stuff that your own countrymen are known for. But when something bad happens in your country or to your people, you can't help but sympathize because it's still your home. It's still your country. It's still your countrymen.
Mhm.
It really fucking sucks. It really fucking sucks. Even though it did not directly affect me or anything, I felt so bad for Filipino creatives during this time. Really, really bad.
It's definitely, well, it's just like the whole Japan thing with. Do you remember Logan Paul?
Yes, I remember that.
So, see, Japan itself is very like,
Ooh,
hey, I see something on the news. Oh, I guess it's happened. You know,
very conservative country.
that's it. That's the word. So, the moment that Logan Paul did that thing,
Oh boy.
everyone instantly went against the classic American white person.
Yeah, even a lot of the Brits and Americans that live in Japan because they work there were also just as pissed as Logan Paul.
Hmm.
And
And they got so much
yeah,
stigmatism from it as well.
yeah, they did.
And they didn't deserve it because Logan Paul was just being a clown.
Yep, but unfortunately, that's also the side effect of Japan being very xenophobic in culture.
Hmm.
They are just very, very overly cautious, and I say that generously in a very nice term. They are overly cautious towards foreigners. Even if these foreigners can speak fluent Japanese or have been staying there for years, all it takes is one controversy like that for them to turn on them, which is really, really sad to see. Okay. Anyhow, moving on to the penultimate question for part 1. So, do you think a VTuber can come back from graduation?
Definitely.
Mm.
Sometimes it does happen, and of course, a VTuber does decide, hey, you know what, this is too much for me right now, and I don't think I'm going to be coming back. But if they do come back, they can always come back as their own personality.
Mm.
It's happened so many times. But it will definitely be working from the ground back up again.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the moment that the community hears, oh, we're graduating, sorry, this person's graduating, they're like, uh-oh, I guess time to find the next person, you know?
Yep, yep. Well, for me, this is the first. Well, this is the thing I like about my talks whenever I disagree with my guest because it opens up discourse.
Okay.
Well, partially disagree with what you said. Definitely, a graduating VTuber can come back, but I honestly think they shouldn't because, a VTuber retiring or graduating should feel very final because all of the invested money and emotion of your fan base literally like ends right there when you graduate. It's a very bittersweet farewell. You're wishing them well, like they go their own way, they look for another Oshi to worship or shrimp for while you do your own thing. That's fine. But
Yeah.
and this is why I honestly think when you graduate, you think multiple times over and over again, is this an indefinite hiatus or a graduation? Because the two are very different. In my opinion, it's safer to go the indefinite hiatus part. Because you don't know if your urge to graduate is something very sudden that's after 3 months of just not VTubing, you're like, okay, I think I needed that. That's why indefinite hiatus, you're like, okay, so we don't know when they're coming back, but at least your community and your fan base will like not completely lose all of their invested emotions and whatnot towards you, you know? But when you graduate and then you come back, that's like, oh my god, like yay, but this is
So,
I mean, as much as I mean, technically, Kiryu Coco didn't. No, not technically. Kiryu Coco did not come back. No, I do not
No.
consider that her current circumstances her coming back. No, that is not Kiryu Coco. That's a completely different identity.
So,
And
yeah, I agree with that,
yeah,
especially
and-
in a company manner.
yeah, and
Because
like,
Kiryu is gone.
yes. And more importantly, even though you see a lot of her old mannerisms there with who she is now, it's not the same person. It's clearly not the same person. Because Kiryu Coco is very different from who she is right now. The way she does streams, the way her mannerisms, her content, who she interacts with, how she interacts with her audience is very, very different with how Kiryu Coco does it. Now,
There's gone from restraint to non-restraint.
yeah, I can only imagine if Kiryu Coco graduated and then suddenly she's back in Hololive. Like, a part of me will say yay, but most of me is like, this feels weird and wrong at the same time. Because, like, I lost a piece of myself. You can't just put that piece back.
Exactly.
It's very... because it's something very intangible that you lose whenever you lose your Oshi. Be it due to graduation or indefinite hiatus. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of the Nosagis, the Pekora fan base, I'm pretty sure they're on heavy copium right now. Because she has to take a break for a month or so because of her vocals. And that's really, really sad. I love Pekora, but I can only imagine how it feels for a true Nosagi.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, she's not gone. Definitely not. Or at least I hope not. Good lord. But
yeah, she's definitely not gone, but she's like... She's taking a break.
Yeah, she's taking a break. That's what I prefer over people graduating and then coming back. Even if you have a good reason for coming back, it just makes many, many things very awkward when you do that. I mean, could you imagine also, like, if a big indie VTuber graduates, what people normally do would spend their final planned expenditures for merch. Like, you know they're gonna graduate, so you're gonna get your hands on whatever merch you can get because you're not gonna see them stream anymore. Could you imagine when you spend all that money that you plan to spend and then they come back, you're like, good lord, I just wasted my money.
I can understand that completely, but there is one side that I see on graduation to that's completely different to your side. So, I see graduation as, yes, you'll leave the community, you know? You can definitely come back though, but it will have to be a very, very, very long time.
Not just a very long time, but like, it has to be for a very good reason. And in my opinion, when you come back, you shouldn't be that distinguishable from your previous, like, when you graduated.
Oh, yeah.
There has to be some sort of growth or change, because that comes with a graduation. When a VTuber retires and they come back. I mean, look no further from Kylie Coco. You cannot compare...
No further to Coco?
Yeah, you cannot compare Kylie Coco now and Kylie Coco when she retired. Or before she retired. Two completely
there's
different
a matter of
entities.
self-progression.
And of course, come on, Uruharushia. She's not as active as before. She's still, you know, dealing with what happened. Slowly, she's getting her mojo back, but it's not her anymore. It's not Uruharushia. It's not the flat Evangelion Unit 01 that we know.
It's not the big screamer. We need to give them a big pat on their heads.
Yeah, but we do. But yeah, that aside, I am not going to gatekeep or stop anyone from coming back from a graduation. I mean, I'm not their company. I'm not their manager. I'm not their parent. It's their decision. But it's just my opinion that if you graduate, that there is a finality there. That's the end of it. That's the end of that thing there. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know, it might be a bad comparison, but this is how I'm gonna compare it anyway. Remember in Star Wars when they brought Palpatine back?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? He was already dead! What reason? What relevance does he have? And there's not a single hint of him being alive, ever! But, like, when something ends, there's something, although bittersweet, like when a VTuber graduating, there's something very, like, cathartic about it. Because you're like, I'm glad that I was there before it ended, and I'm glad that it happened, even though it ends. But then, after all that feeling of emotions that you get when a VTuber graduates, they're like, I'm back! You're like, why?
Okay, if they do it in a short period without any progression, then that becomes a...
Yeah, that is very contentious. But again, depending on the situation and the circumstance, I can't even put a limit of like how long you have to stay in graduation state. But just for an estimate, I'd say maybe 6 months?
I feel like 6 months would be way too short.
Yeah, I think 6 months is way too short. I think that's pushing it. But like, if we're being a bit generous here, I would say at least 6 months. At the very least. Wait for 6 months. Oh my god, remove jacket, sure, no problem. Alright. But yeah, I'm just like, oh, good lord. So yeah, just put a TLDR on this question. I'm not gonna stop anyone from coming back from graduation. But it's just my honest opinion that if you're gonna graduate, let that be the end of it. If you want to come back into VTubing, get a new identity. Unfortunately, that may mean like, but I have to spend money all over again and whatnot. Well, you should have thought about that before you said, I'm graduating. You could have said, I'm gonna go on a indefinite hiatus instead. Now again, I know I'm not making it sound easy because sometimes you're in a circumstance where it seems like the best thing for you is just to stop and never come back. And then somewhere down the line, the regret kicks in and you're like, damn it, I want to go back. That's completely fine and understandable. But when you do come back, don't think that it's going to be a seamless transition from when you graduated and when you come back. It's
going to be messy.
It's going to be messy. You have to ease people in that you are back as a VTuber. You have to ease them in.
There's not just that, you've got to also regain trust.
You have to regain trust as well, yes. Because even if you are a clean VTuber, no controversies whatsoever, it is a controversy in of itself when you ungraduate.
Yeah.
So you have to really ease yourself back in. Well, not just yourself, but everyone. Your audience, your old fans, your new fans, your old VTuber friends that you collab with or associate with, you have to ease them in. It's a very slow and treacherous path, a very dangerous one, but it has to be taken slowly and properly.
You've got to make sure that there's proper closure.
Yes.
With reasons.
Alright, next. The last question for part 1. So graduating VTubers happen for both indie and corporate VTubers. Do you think there's any difference between the two?
Very, very big differences.
Alright.
So, between indie and personal, there are a few similarities, which are, of course, personal burnout, people needing to just, come back to reality, or general reality kind of kicks in, right? But the big difference between corporate and indie is that there's targets, especially with corporations. I guess a good example of this could be, do you know the Niji Sanji Indonesian branch?
Yeah, I know.
So all of the members except one member had extremely low levels of views and attendance, right? Mainly because of their own personal lives, because of their computers, because they just don't have the motivation, and they had to graduate by force because of Niji Sanji.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, an indie VTuber graduating would be, by their choice, their expectations and their reality of their own things. It becomes a matter of, hey, I'm doing this because I want to do this myself. Versus, hey, I want to do this myself, but also I'm not doing well enough, so I need to go.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah.
And I mean, even if you are very successful, some people don't see it as that. I mean, it's a very competitive but also an unhealthy mentality to compare your numbers to another person.
Mm-hmm.
It's competitive, I mean, you can use that as a gauge of where you need to improve. But if you do that too much without any self-control or confidence in yourself too, it can work against you.
Just like a relationship, it becomes super toxic because you start to get jealous, you start to get depressed, you start to get competitive and angry and aggressive, and then you go down this giant spiral.
Before you know it, without even you consciously doing, consciously acting, you lash out in ways you don't, because you have all of these negative emotions: jealousy, envy, disappointment towards yourself, doubt. You can't just bottle that forever. And when you don't let it out somewhere, it's gonna show up whenever you stream or whenever you interact with your audience or your other VTuber friends. So, yeah. It's not something you should be doing without self-control and without a very objective perspective, so to speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, God, that sucks.
Yeah, it that's the thing. This whole topic we're talking about is going to suck. It's not a light-hearted
It's very important that we talk about this.
Exactly, because this is just the reality of things, you know? It's the main topic that no one wants to talk about because everyone wants to keep a blind eye to it, but in reality it's, hey, wake up. If you wake up, fucking space cowboy, it's time to see the reality as it is.
Yeah. As for me, difference between indie and corporate VTubers graduating, oh yeah, there's definitely a big difference. I mean, one of the biggest difference is usually the reason why they quit or why they graduate. More often than not, whenever a corporate VTuber graduates, it's more often than not because they fucked up.
Oh yeah.
Usually it's because they fucked up. As for indie VTubers, it's usually because of, it's really burnout, personal life circumstances interrupt their VTubing activities, so they have to focus on that instead. And of course, the one similarity though between the two is a very, very big controversy between two VTubers.
Yes, just like we talked about in the third question.
Yep.
Drama can cause so much hellfire.
Yep. And as we see as we have seen with the whole Ura Harushia incident, people that should not get involved got themselves involved, and in turn, not only did they lit a fire, they added fuel to the already burning fire. And for what? Clout. You cannot tell me otherwise. If you are not involved in the controversy or whatever, do not get yourself involved. Because even if you have the best of intentions, people will just see it as clout. And you are painting yourself, you're painting a big target on your back. Because if you say something about it and you have very little to go on, and if it's clear in your messaging that you haven't really looked into the whole situation, you're just virtue signaling at this point. So again, I'm not saying that whenever there's something controversial that happens, because it doesn't involve me, I'm gonna shut up. No. If you're going to say something about it, do your fucking research. Be very careful about how you word something. If it's something very complicated, do not make it sound simple. Whenever you claim that it's because of this or it's because of that, you better have the evidence to back it up. I mean, the whole Ura Harushia incident about Rushia getting... The reason why she graduated was because she got... was because of her slip-up. And I'm like, I don't think that's the reason.
I think there was more behind the scenes.
There was more behind the scenes for sure, but everyone was so focused on the drama caused by her Discord chat showing up in her stream. And that was the, I mean, admit it, it's the juicier I hate it saying it. It's the juicier drama. Like, if you think of it from a viewer, a third party's perspective, what's more interesting to talk about? Like, Rusia slipping up that she actually has a boyfriend, or she broke certain parts of her contract by the company and the company had to let her go? Which one's the juicier drama? Obviously, it's the one about the boyfriend. So
it's more about the boyfriend.
The alleged boyfriend. So whatever happens to her, people are gonna think it's because of that, even though, according to Hololive themselves, according to Cover Corp, no, it's because she disclosed information, private company and confidential information to third parties. I mean, that's what they said, and unless we have someone who can cyber sleuth or some Phoenix Wright bullshit and bring to light the real reason, we're gonna have to go with what we are being fed right now. We can have our doubts, that's free. But we cannot wave around our doubts as if it's facts, even though it sounds like it is. Even though we want it to be the reason. But like, if you look at it from the objective side, why would, over a slip up like that, over the slip up of her boyfriend thing in the Discord chat, ever since Kiryu graduated, Uroharushia is literally their biggest moneymaker. Why would they get rid of her over a slip up?
That's it.
They wouldn't.
Exactly.
They wouldn't. They would suspend her, perhaps, but they wouldn't get rid of her. But if she does something as serious as, sharing private and confidential company information to a third party, that is grounds for, them kicking her out. It's part of her contract. She's not supposed to do that.
It becomes a matter of, hey, what the fuck? You're breaking the trust.
Yeah, and I say this, I'm not defending Cover Corp. No, I'm not. I hate how Cover Corp has dealt with several situations. But I have to deal with the objective perspective as well. If you look at the situation from the perspective of Cover Corp, letting her go over a slip up just doesn't make any sense. But what makes more sense is if you let her go because she broke a very important part of her contract, which is about confidential information. Yes. Doesn't matter if she's earning you a lot of money. You cannot trust someone who just discloses information like that.
Mm-hmm. And letting them go, letting them get away with it would
that too.
fuck up the company even more because they have
not
more
just that. It will also set a bad precedent that if you are the largest earner for Hololive, then you can get away with shit like that. That is a precedent they didn't want to set. And again, I'm not defending Cover Corp. They should have dealt. There are way better ways for them to deal with the situation, but they dealt with it horribly. You should have done better. But when you look at it objectively, it makes sense why they got rid of her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still saddened by it, don't get me wrong. But yeah, TLDR for question 5. The difference really when an indie VTuber graduates and a corporate VTuber graduates, usually it's really because of the circumstances. The circumstances are the only difference. But the graduation itself, it's very similar. It's very bittersweet, it's very sad, but it's something that people will attend and celebrate because they want to see one last hurrah, you know.
Yeah.
One more for the road, and then they move on. Alright, that is the end of part 1. We're going to go on a brief break, literally just 5 minutes or so. We're gonna entertain any questions that chat has regarding the topic, so feel free to ask. Before we move on to part 2, which is where we get into very heated questions, so to speak.
Oh god, looking at these questions, they're gonna be... Woo!
Yeah, but these are very important. We have to talk about these.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man.
Oh,
Man.
I love aloe vera.
Aloe vera. Good lord.
What?
Nothing.
What's so bad about aloe vera?
Nothing. I'm just like aloe vera. Okay. Sorry, over here. Not to compare to aloe vera, but like, if I were to drink something that isn't water but just as healthy, coconut water, or coconut juice.
Okay, you know what? That's actually good. That's a good one. To be
though,
fair.
it's very cheap here, but abroad it's very expensive.
Dude, I have to pay like what fucking £2 to get a coconut. I'm like, what the
fuck? two quid for.
Yeah. You guys are like 50. You're like 50 pesos. I'm like, what the putain?
Wait, no. 2 quid is not even 50 pesos, dude. 2 quid is like 140.
Yeah.
140 pesos for a fucking glass of coconut water or coconut juice? Fuck off. That's highway robbery.
I fucking come over there, fucking I'll get myself Jollibees and fucking a full-on KFC meal with that.
Oh, hell yeah. One thing that I love about here in the Philippines, our fast food's actually very good. KFC is actually very good in the Philippines.
Dude, your fucking McDonald's serves rice!
Yeah! Suck it, Westerners! We have rice meals, motherfuckers!
You know, even us lot in England, we got rice meals as well, but they only doing, like, what, fucking rice burritos.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just like...
I'm like, Fuyo, install yourself a fucking rice cooker here!
Imagine living in a country that serves really good meat, fish, but not with rice. Why are you even alive?
Don't even. We've only got one Jollibee in the whole of England.
Oh, that is depressing.
And I can't even get there.
Oh, quick question then, Kazuki. Do you know how to cook rice the Asian way?
Oh, fuck yeah, I do. Finger method.
There you go. That's how you do it.
Putaina, what do you think I am?
I don't know, man. I don't know how much influence you got from the Brits.
No, I hate it.
Very convenient, innit?
I'll fucking shove my dick down your...
You just use your finger to measure the water, then you're good. Perfect rice, 99.9% of the time, perfect rice.
I
remember when I went to the States and we cooked rice for lunch. My aunt, my cousin there was wondering, like, how do you measure the water for the rice? I'm like, I use my finger. What? How? I told them. You see this line down your finger, the first one? You dip that, and if the water is at that level above the rice, you're good. If you want the rice to be a little, like, not sticky, but just a little moist, then just a little somewhere above that line. But if you reach the second line of your finger, it's almost gonna be sticky or like very moist rice. But generally, yeah. If grandma doesn't know how to cook rice in the Asian way, I'll immediately drop it. I don't use my finger, I just trust my guts. Well,
so about food, right? So I'm gonna love coming back to Philippines because I'm gonna fucking love eating shit off. I mean, fuck, I'm expecting to come over. I'm coming over there to come and fucking visit you, and I'm gonna fucking eat.
Oh yeah, don't worry, dude. I'm gonna make sure you don't leave this country until you eat sisig at least once.
But
it's a tradition.
I'll tell you what. While I was in America, I realized what the fuck is up with the food? Because we had loads of things. We had steak, which was nice. Nice as the fucking steak that I can't fucking blame. It's America. Come on, steak is steak. Steakhouses and shit.
Yeah, no way.
But then I ordered a sweet potato, you know?
Oh,
I'm like, okay,
come on. Yeah.
It's a sweet potato.
Sweet potato.
Yeah, how do you fuck up a sweet potato? Just put sweet potato with some butter, right? No, they fucking put sweet potato butter, fucking maple syrup, and marshmallows on it.
What? Who the fuck eats kamote with maple syrup? What?
Maple syrup, butter, and marshmallows.
But you can. It's kamote. You just. Even boiling it is fine. It tastes fine on its own. What? What? Wait, what? Wait, I need to take my glasses off for this. What?
Don't even. Okay, here's another thing, right? So, I went to a bar to get some drinks, right? And I'm like, okay, let's try some of the cocktails, right? I just pick a random cocktail. There's a fucking cocktail with bacon, pickles, fucking olives, and I'm like, what the fuck is this margarita? Why the hell is there bacon in my fucking cocktail?
Yeah. What? What? Bacon and pickle in a fucking cocktail?
Bacon, pickle, fucking what? Bacon, pickle, olives.
Not everything is a fucking burger. What the fuck? Oh my god. We love bacon flavored everything in the USA. Yeah, I get that. I love me some bacon too. I mean, tomorrow, Mama and Ari is gonna make pancakes and bacon for breakfast. But Jesus Christ! Yeah, here's your vodka. Wait, what's that you're sprinkling on top? Oh, bacon. Huh? What?
It wasn't just sprinkled, it was literal fucking bacon strips.
A strip of bacon. Oh my
god. A
god.
full-on strip of bacon just...
Yeah, America! Fuck yeah! Wouldn't be surprised if you found a gun in that cocktail as well.
Hiya!
Hello. Alright, okay. We're moving on to part 2 now of our talk. Alright, so there has been this recent trend of VTubers graduating. So do you think there's something behind the scenes, or are these all just really isolated incidents?
Alright, so this is a big 50-50 one. Where just like we said previously as well, if a VTuber is going through, say, controversy, or they've got personal life things going on, or they literally can't handle the pressure of becoming a VTuber, or etc, it will definitely push people to go ahead and say, you know what, it's time to graduate, But I also realized that it doesn't just happen to one person. It becomes a giant chain where people are like, you know what, hey, this person's graduating, I should do it as well, because you know what, I think I enjoy watching more rather than being a VTuber, And half of them give themselves really good reasons as well, because they all do a twit longer and all that stuff. But there's a lot of pressure, and it's definitely not just behind the scenes, but in front of everywhere,
Yeah.
I myself would do say that I was considering what was it? I was considering graduating from the VTubing community, because there's just too much going on, Oh, yeah. It's very because when you are in the community, you realize, you know what, it's a bit toxic. It's I don't want to deal with this, but then I realized, why? Why would I do it? I can't be asked. I feel like
After
after
the
the
big
big
VTuber
VTuber
boom in 2019, the hype died a little bit.
Oh yeah,
I mean, you're
like
not
everything.
completely wrong there, no. But think of it this way. Everyone has been consuming VTubers during COVID because, again, due to COVID, there are a lot of things you cannot do with your friends or anything IRL. So you're much more exposed to streaming services, watching stuff online, playing stuff online with your friends. And if you were never into VTubers before, then you're definitely in that part of, I think, the hype died. But if you were invested in VTubing even before 2019, or at least before the boom in 2019, it's not really that the hype died down, in my opinion. It's more of people are not moving away, but like going back to their old lifestyles pre-COVID.
Oh yeah, like
So VTubing
there was
for them is not something special anymore, because if you look at it, VTubing intrinsically is not that different from your typical streamer or content creator. They are still content creators. They're just they're just doing it in a different medium. Really vague question, but where's the toxicity in the VTuber community? Is it on the inside or with the companies or just trolled? It's a combination of actually all three.
It's all three.
It's
yeah,
all three,
it's...
PK.
So,
Here's the thing. I'll give my take, and then I'll let Kazuki give his take.
Okay, go.
When we're talking about toxicity in the VTuber community, sometimes the VTuber themselves can be very toxic. That their fan base, a toxic fan base, just gravitates towards them. Like, intrinsically, this person is just very toxic. This VTuber is just very toxic, so their community is very toxic as well. You can have that situation. As for companies, I think when it comes to corporate VTubers, it's very common practice for companies to restrict their talent from having any romantic relationships because they want to focus on monetizing the parasocial relationship between them and their viewers, because it's very
Especially
lucrative.
an idol.
Yeah, because that is idol culture, and I think that's the biggest difference between a corporate VTuber and an indie VTuber. A corporate VTuber usually has an idol status attached to them, but an indie VTuber is just like, yeah, anime model, let's go, I want to stream using this. Now you have a lot of people that are full RP as their live 2D model. You have those like me who are kind of 50-50 on it. And you have people who are very detached from their model. That it's just a mask for them, which is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with any of the three. But because of how companies deliver and package their VTubers, if the VTuber does not jive well with the company's goals and views, as well as the standards of the community, that can lead to a lot of toxic circumstances popping up. So, just a hypothetical. Let's say you are a VTuber for HoloLive, and you, IRL, you have an SO because it's very integral to your daily lifestyle and whatnot. And then your fan base will somehow somehow hint that, wait, do you have an SO? Something like that. And then suddenly their perspective on you changes drastically, like, oh, you fucking liar, you're manipulating and using our our emotions to earn money and shit. And I'm just like, that's not VTubing culture that's toxic, that's idol culture, and I fucking hate idol culture for that reason. And let me repeat this. I do not hate idols, I hate idol culture. I wanna put that down. I don't hate idol I don't hate idols. I hate idol culture.
You hate the culture around it, and that's completely understandable.
I really fucking hate it. I really fucking hate it.
So, like, as a big extension of that, right? You do get quite a lot of that in the general VTubing community itself, even
you do.
Even beyond the idol culture, because people believe that they're idols, you know.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of misunderstandings, where, say, I don't know, one person says one thing, another person says another thing, and then it becomes, uh-oh, everyone's fucking gone on fire. Why is everything gone to shit?
Yeah. You also have fan bases that do stuff that, like, they ship you with someone, and when you don't, they're pissed at you all of a sudden. Or worse, they send death threats. Like,
do you mean about that Nichi-sanji one?
No, I'm not talking about the Nichi-sanji one, but I'm like, not exactly that, but like, it's not even outside the realm of possibilities. Again, just a hypothetical. If one of my fans, or a fan of a VTuber that I collab with, ships me with them, the VTuber, and I don't interact as often with the VTuber because, like, not like I don't hate him or her, but we're just friends. We're nothing more than beyond friends. We're close friends, sure, but, like, I don't see them as an SO. And then they get that whole thing in their head, like, but you have such good chemistry! You look so good together and whatnot! And I'm just like, and? Are you me? No. Do you own me? No. You don't get to dictate who I ship myself with. I ship myself. I ship myself with who I want to ship myself with.
I choose who I want to be with, not
like, look,
you.
There is nothing wrong with shipping a VTuber with another VTuber. There is something wrong when you act on that ship. There is a big difference between that. Like, if you think that, for example, Kazuki can be shipped with this VTuber, like, they look cute together and whatnot, that's fine. But if you start acting on that ship, like, you get very, like, on Kazuki streams, you should collab with this VTuber again, or you go to their streams, you should collab with Kazuki again. That's bad. That's bad juju. That's bad.
It's you're trying to force a situation, you know?
Yeah. It's bad and wrong, therefore it's badong.
Like, on my side, right? Just the general toxicity in the whole VTubing community, you know? Once again, just like you said, man, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere, yeah.
Keeping it, like, to keep it very, very simple, in the inside, let's say, I don't know, some VTuber, let's say, I don't know, VTuber number 1 or VTuber number 2 end up having a relationship, you know? And there's discourse. Of course, that can spark something if there is, well, if they end up talking about it, you know, all over the place, you know? But this could also be stuff like, I don't know, there's a breakup in a friendship, or if somebody is just in a really good place at a right time that they see something go on and they just spread it out like wildfire, then yeah, it's inside the community and it becomes really toxic, really big discourse, you know?
Yeah, it does.
But outside the community, yeah, just like you said as well, shipping, you shouldn't influence that kind of shit. It's really bad.
No, it's not.
Especially because sometimes it makes the VTuber really uncomfortable. There's some VTubers that are alright with it, you know?
Yeah.
We're talking more the loot tubers, but of course they have their boundaries as well. They're human,
yeah. Do not forget that behind every VTuber is a real person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They've all got their own shit that they want to deal with, and they don't have enough time to deal with
Even
all
if they
these
had
things.
the time, they're still human. There are things
Exactly.
IRL that happens behind the scenes that they don't want you guys to be concerned with, that they are probably dealing with.
And then trolling. We could talk about fucking VTuber bots and shit like that, but God.
But like every community has its troll. Gaming community, anime community, movies, pop culture fan bases, VTubing community has their own troll community.
Exactly. And to be fair, that's just something that you're gonna have to deal with when you're a VTuber as well, you know? Especially on Twitch.
If you're smart and creative about it, you can turn a troll into content for your stream. But
Exactly.
it is within your power as a VTuber to set boundaries. You want to ban a troll, do it. If you think
You need
it's
to make
completely
sure that-
fair, if you think it's completely fair and within reason, even after giving them a warning, and they still do whatever bullshit, ban them.
Yeah.
Ban
It's
them,
the matter
block
of
them.
it's the matter of, hey, I need to enforce my rules on my chat, and I need to make sure that my community isn't.
It's
you
like
know,
it's like if you were to
shit.
put if you were to put in your stream casual playthrough, no backseating, and literally within minutes of you starting the game, someone starts backseating. You're like, dude, can you please not? You're even giving them a second chance. Dude, can you please not backseat? It's my first time playing. I want to learn. And then 10 minutes later, they do that shit again. Ban them. They can say whatever bad shit like, oh my god, I've been banned by this VTuber because I was helping them and I had an opinion. They can say whatever you want. You have the VOD where you warned them. You have the tag that said, no, the casual playthrough, no backseating, and they still broke the damn rule. So yes.
Now, the best thing out of everything is that Twitch has kind of changed their ruling around it now. Because especially with well, there used to be the big rule that in Twitch you have to make sure that your community isn't being toxic. You know, you're in charge, and if you fuck up, Twitch will ban you instead of them. You know. But recently they've changed the TOS around that, so if there's something happening behind your control, but this is specifically around the bot rate as well, you know?
Yeah.
It's not your fault. Twitch will inform you that something's going on, and they'll try to help, even though that they probably won't.
Yeah, but if it is under an understandable circumstance, like, I know this person was part of my community, but I banned them because they were being toxic pieces of shit. They are just using my name to bring me down. That's probably like Twitch hearing like, oh, okay, then it's definitely not your fault.
Exactly.
Yeah, at least there's now protection against that. Thank God. All right. Next question, a very important question. How should a community respond or deal with a VTuber graduating? I'll start with this one.
Okay, go on.
First off, when a VTuber graduates, respect their decision. You can mourn and cry all you want. You can be disappointed, you can be happy, but respect their decision. Respect their decision, even if it's because of a controversy or because they're just burnt out or because they want to try something else. It's still their decision. That's like telling your favorite athlete, no, play some more, you can still do it. No, it's their fucking decision. You still got the skills. No, it's their decision. But you can still win one more time. No, it's their decision. They want to maybe spend more time with their family. They want to try another sport. They want to give their body a much needed break for good. They don't want to deal with any more injuries or pressure for the professional sport. That's their decision. Let them have that. And if the sport becomes boring because of them not being in that sport, then that's the sport's problem. That's the organization's problem for not cultivating more athletes to be like that, so to speak.
Yeah.
And more importantly, this is very important, because I trust all of you know who Kylie Coco is now. Let us not mention her name. We already know who she is now. But it is an unspoken rule. I believe it to be an unspoken rule that if a VTuber graduates and they return to their previous content or previous identity as a content creator before they got into their identity that they graduated from, you do not directly treat them as if they were that. So hypothetical. Let's say that I got hired by Niji Sanji, worked for them for 3 years, and then I stopped because I'm like, yep, this is why I didn't want to become corpo. I wanted control over who I collab with, who I interact with, how I interact with my audience, what I play, when I play, what I do, etc. So I'm gonna put an end to that. I want my freedom back. Unless I myself do a reference to like my previous identity, it is common practice and practically an unspoken rule. You do not bring back the past identity of a graduated VTuber in their current identity. I mean,
I'm pretty sure that most people have rules for that.
Yeah, and most people respect that. But that is definitely, it should not be something that people remind you of. It should be a standard at this point. I mean, Kylie Coco right now still references Hololive several times and the people she interacts with. And same goes for the generation she left behind. Towa, Watame, Luna, and especially Kanata, they still talk about Kylie Coco, maybe indefinitely, not directly mention her name. But generally, people refer to Kylie Coco as Kylie Coco and not her current identity when they talk to the Hololive talents, because obviously that is very, very rude, and worse, you create a very awkward situation for your Hololive talent. Because they now have to think of the ramifications. Oh my god. Like, Kylie Coco's real identity was just mentioned on my stream. Oh my god, what consequences can this have? And it's not their fault, but it is now their problem that they have to deal with. So yeah, one important thing I would say when dealing with a VTuber graduating, you really have to treat the VTuber that graduated as if they really put an end to their VTubing activities. Like, sure, you can still do the typical like, oh, I missed this, I missed that, more fan work, blah blah blah. That's totally fine. But whenever they re-emerge as someone else, and you know that that is them, that's them that graduated, do not bring up their past. They graduated for a reason. Obviously.
Exactly.
Alright, how about your take on this, Kazuki?
So, I've got the same opinion as you in where the community should really respect the VTubers' point of view, you know? Look, I'm graduating because of this reason. You should respect it, you know?
Yes.
There's something that is very big with this, though, right? Just like you said, when people don't respect it and they try to force it back or find an excuse or try to dig into information a bit deeper, you know? Like, a good example of this would be Coco, you know?
Yes.
Where people really tried to dig for tea, you get me?
Yep.
And to be fair, this was just extremely unhealthy for everyone because they don't want to deal with this, you know?
It's just for clout.
It's just for clout. It's for clout, it's for attention, and more importantly, it's to try force them to come back to the community, even though it's kind of, desperate act.
Yes.
But the main thing that people should be doing is, well, I say should be doing because everyone's got their own little ways of doing things, you know? Is they should at least respect the fact that this is an end of life cycle, you know?
Yes.
And they're looking to go into their next cycle of life. They want to do what they want to do. They want to focus on their things, and no one else should try to force them to come back and be who they, well, eventually made the big decision to not be, you know?
Yes. Yeah, that's definitely common sense at this point. But yep, we have to remind, because the internet can be really stupid at times.
The thing that...
Oh, hiccup.
That's alright. The one thing that I really, really, really love, though, that people do to deal with people graduating is they make fan art.
Oh yeah.
Instead of supporting
fucking tear jerking animations. Holy fucking shit! I've seen so many of Kylie Coco. I'm like, God damn it! I know she's graduating, but God damn it!
Like, look, like, fan art is the representation of the community saying, hey, we love this person, so if this person, when this person's going, let's make it big, let's make it flashy, let's show them that we appreciate them, you know?
Yes.
Now that is the way I believe the VTuber community should, well, the VTuber community or just the general community of anything, you know, should go to anyone when they're graduating, you know? They should make sure that they feel appreciated, not, hey, don't leave, come back, I miss you! You know? It's not,
you're making them feel bad.
Yeah.
You're making them feel bad, basically.
Exactly, you're making it harder for them. And
yeah, like, if you think it's hard for you that Kylie Coco's retiring, put yourself in Coco's shoes. The only person that feels the most weight, the most sorrow that this is ending is Kylie Coco herself.
Yeah.
No other person can compare to what she is going through right now when she graduates. Or when she was graduating. No one can compare to what she felt. She wasn't just leaving the Tatsunokos. She was leaving her genmates, her company, behind. So yeah. For us, from our point of view, we are losing one Oshi. But there are so many other Hololive talents we can pour our heart into. But for her, it's like she left a family behind. Maybe even more than that. Like, a family that you leave behind, you can sort of visit once in a while. But as Kylie Coco, no. She cannot go back anymore. She spread her wings and flew to a faraway, an alternate isekai. She cannot just simply come back from.
She went to an alternate isekai called Brazil.
Brazil! But yeah, like, honestly, the best way you can really deal with a VTuber graduating, respect their decision. And again, all this emotions you're feeling, very sad, very happy, whatever, it pales in comparison to what the VTuber is feeling. It will always be pale in comparison. So if you feel like your heart's being ripped out because Kylie Coco is graduating, what she's feeling is way more painful than what you are feeling.
A million times worse.
Yes. Alright. The next question. So usually when a controversy surrounds a VTuber, the community gets involved. Now, how should the VTubing community as a whole address this thing? You want me to start, or do you want to start?
I want to start this.
Alright, let's go. Do it.
So...
I'm gonna mention 2 controversies here.
I'm gonna mention 2 as well.
Alright.
I'm going to avoid smaller controversy, mainly because, I'd say indie controversy, because the indie community is of a lot smaller and everyone knows everyone, you know?
Yep.
I'm going to be talking more on the lines of the bigger Hololive, for example, you know? Now, there's not a way that I should say people should react to the to a VTuber community acting as a whole, right? Because people are going to have their own little ways of doing things, you know?
Of course.
But you would want to suggest to them, hey, can you just not be a dickhead about it and just be respectful, you know? And maybe not spread it around. If it's a community thing,
yep,
keep it in. Don't spread it. We're not going to it's not going to be hellfire and one person leads to another until everyone knows who your name is, who everything's going on and why and what, you know?
Yes.
Now, I guess one big example I could already say would be the Rusia incident.
Yep.
The Rusia incident, that was once again Rusia making a tiny mistake that ended up leading into a giant community thing where even people from the community didn't even know what the fuck was going on, but they wanted to get in because people were talking about it, you know?
Yep. Especially that scumbag who is basically Japanese Keemstar. My god.
Oh yeah.
He did not benefit the case at all. He benefited from all the clout. That's all he got. Fucker.
It happens lots though, like where one person especially in YouTube, because there are, of course, YouTube news channels, so VTuber news channels, right? Where they got someone scouting around. Hey, look, there's this happening. Oh, that's not interesting. Hey, this is happening. Oh, that's not interesting. Hey, look, something big's happening, and it's going to spread wildfire and give you more views. Hey, I'm interested. You know, it's something that if a VTuber community can keep in the group, that would be best, you know? But the more it leaks, and the more people want to spread it out and make controversy about it and make it more toxic, that's when things get bad. And
more often than not, you also lose focus on what the real issue is.
Oh yeah, you put blind truth up.
And worst case scenario is you focus on something else entirely. That was never an issue, but has become an issue.
Exactly.
Really fucking stupid.
Oh
my god.
You go ahead. No.
Okay. For me, one of the issues that have been bothering me happened last year, I think. Was the Noxtaku and Vishoujo incident. Was it Vishoujo?
Oh, yeah, yes.
Now,
yes.
Now here's the thing. I have buried that controversy deep down because it just sounded very stupid to me. Now what sounded stupid for me, and again, I did not take sides here because I hate taking sides in a drama. Because in the internet age, you don't know anymore what is objectively true and what is objectively false. It's very difficult. And sorry, but as someone who studied philosophy, I see how it makes sense when you say that a truth is just a lie that everyone agrees with, that the majority agrees with. And before you raise your pitchforks and torches at me, think of it this way. Before everyone knew that the Earth is round and revolved around the sun, everyone thought that the Earth was flat. A lot of people even thought that the sun revolved around the Earth. They actually believed that in the past. But because of technology and scientific proof now, we know for a fact that the Earth is round and we revolve around the sun. But of course, there's still flat earthers out there that say otherwise. So our fact for them is a lie, and their fact for us is a lie. But because there are just more non-flat earthers than flat earthers, it is a fact that the earth is, well, round. Now, going with that train of thought that a truth is basically a lie that everyone, or the majority, the huge majority agrees is fact. Whenever I see controversies like this, I tread very, very lightly. I tread very, very lightly because I don't know what's happening behind the scenes, and every side has something to gain. Every side, even if it's just two parties involved, every side has something to gain from it. Even though they'll lose a lot, there's still something to be gained. Now, the thing that really disturbed me about the whole Noxtaku and Vishoujo incident, and I have friends who are huge fans of Noxtaku, the only thing that I saw, because it was so viral, was that clip of Noxtaku saying that he was requested to not share the information he had, and he did it anyway. And I'm just like, so you're telling me that the authorities and the parties involved were like, don't tell anyone else. And you're like, fuck it, I'll tell everyone else. Where did you expect this thing was going?
Exactly.
Now, I'm just... It's one of those facepalm moments, like... It's kind of like in the family, like, you do not tell your little brother that Santa Claus is, you know, not real. You do not tell them that.
I'm sorry, guys who believed in Santa.
Yeah, sorry for those who believe in Santa. But, like, you then tell them, yeah, Santa's not real. Your parents are like, dude, what the fuck? Like, it's really fucking stupid. And
it is.
And then again, also recently, and this is why I hate taking sides. I'm still not taking sides, but my god. Like, I remember, like, people are posting bad shit about Noxtaku again, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't know who to believe anymore.
So, okay, about the incident, right?
Yeah, please
at least
refresh my memory.
So, to to sum things up right now, once again, yeah, Noxtaku was basically, from what I remember, it was something about a bad situation that happened with Fruit or Zentrea, I think it was. And
basically, let's just say for brevity's sake, let's just say Vishoujo talents.
Yeah. For Vishoujo talents, you know? So they basically said, hey, Nux, we know you know about it. Don't. But he ended up saying, yeah, I'm gonna go talk about it to everyone, you know? But, I think the big thing that happened that, got Nux really fucked, right? Was the fact that he didn't he didn't just talk about it, he accidentally doxed some of the Vshoujo members.
Oh fuck.
Dear. So I'm reading this little article again. Once again, they make the fucking fire burn even hotter, you know?
Yeah.
But to sum it all down, VTuber group Vshoujo has spoken out following claims people impersonating management were doxxed and even swatted other streamers. Well, even swatting. Other streamers, it came after a video by a fellow VTuber, Noxtaku, went viral, but was quickly condemned by the VTuber group talents. So, okay, so, the short story of it is, Vshoujo, well, Noxtaku said stuff, and it ended up going against quite a lot of cybersecurity, especially within the company.
Yep. That was
Especially
another
personal
complaint.
identity.
Yep.
Yeah. It fucking sucks.
It really fucking sucks. And what really sucks here is that it's only supposed to be the VShocho community that should be involved in this whole mess. But because of what Nakstaku did, he potentially got people who didn't need to be involved gotten involved. Like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. And just one more example. A couple of months back, this was when Kazuki was talking about this episode, talking to me to host this episode. There was an art contest that a VTuber hosted.
Oh.
And now I think a lot of people can already remember this. I'm not gonna mention any names because I already forgot the name. That's how fast I bury controversy and drama. I don't forget. I bury. I don't forget in the sense that it never happened to me. No, I bury it because I don't want to remember it.
Are you talking about the one where this artist?
This artist got disqualified, and they were not even told why. And they were disqualified, and they first weren't told why. And then when they went public with it, it was then messaged to them that it's because you fucking traced. And I'm just like, first off, why did you not tell them in the first place why they got disqualified? I don't care if it's not in your rules. It's very professional and good manners to tell someone why they got disqualified. Because a lot of them, like, do not think that when someone gets disqualified or breaks rules in your contest or something, that's because it's malicious. Like, it's very rude. Like, I know it's very tempting and very easy to do that, but always assume that it's an honest mistake. Always try to assume that it's an honest mistake. But instead of doing that, the Discord admin and the VTuber in question was just like, yeah, they're tracing. Fuck them. They're disqualified. And
they were way too unprofessional about it.
They were very unprofessional about it. And when I looked at the art, and then the comparison that they were making, that they trace it from this, I'm like, that doesn't look like a trace at all. I know what a trace looks like. Even when you try to input your own art style into it, you know when something is traced. And it didn't look traced to me. So, and what's worse is that when this happened, more people came out with their stories like, yeah, that VTuber is a douchebag and their admin is also a douchebag to the community. And I'm just like, oh dear. This could have been prevented if you were just more professional. My goodness. And like, this artists community, like, this is a VTubing issue. A VTubing artist issue. And because of mismanagement from the VTuber and the admin in question, everybody got involved. The whole artist community, the whole VTubing community, everybody got involved.
It really shows you how fast things go from 0 to a million.
Yes, and to answer my own question to this, I'll let you do your last part for this question. Whenever there is a problem, try your best to contain the problem. Please, for the love of God. So, for example, let's say that Kazuki has a bad take about a fighting game character. Let's just say, hypothetical, let's say he has a bad take about a fighting game character. I will keep it...
sucks shit.
Yeah, I will keep it between himself and his opinion. I will not try to bring... Like, let's say he thinks character A is bad. and let's say I know a bunch of content creators that say otherwise. I'm not gonna bring their community into the picture. No. I'm just gonna like show Kazuki like you might want to look at this content creator and their videos that say otherwise. Something like that. But I'm not going to get their whole community involved just to disprove Kazuki, because one, it's Kazuki's take. It's everyone is entitled to their own take. I can disagree with it, but I don't need to put Kazuki on fire just because his take is a bad take. I mean, whenever I see bad takes, the one thing you can do is correct them. See, I say correct, not vilify or lambast them for it. Tell them they are wrong. It's the most professional thing you can do. Respectfully tell them they are wrong. So, like, wait, just because Kazuki is a garbage opinion doesn't mean you gotta make a tweet longer about it. I mean, yes, precisely. Like, look, I mean, this is already a joke in my community and in a lot of my mutuals community, but like, sorry, Sheik, I have to use an example out of you.
You mean Kai Kisuke?
Yeah, about Sheikah's take on Kai. Alright, it's honestly a bad take. But I am not going to tell Maximilian Dude about it. I'm not gonna tell Guilty Gear content creators about it. No, of course not. Because, first off, why would they care about another person's hot take? Unless they are called out specifically. Like, if Kazuki said that, oh yeah, Inari Yoko mains this character is a piece of shit, so Inari is a piece of shit. Like, okay, so you called me out, okay, so, by that virtue...
Don't expect retaliation.
Yeah, respect something from me in return. But again, there's always a professional way to do things. And just because someone is unprofessional towards you does not give you the right or the excuse to be unprofessional towards them. Be the professional in this side of the table. Show them how professionals do it. You have standards. They don't. Prove it. So if someone is being an ass about their take, you don't be an ass about their take. You be professional about it. They are wrong, state that they are wrong. And if they cry baby about it, well, that's how they cope, I guess. You don't put them out on a gallery for everyone to see like, haha, look at how stupid their take is. Unless their take is really addressed to everyone, you know. But Inari, how do you balance moral high ground and optics? Okay. Regarding that,
That's a hard one.
that is hard, but I would say that when circumstances call for it, and also when the gravity of the situation is very, very tense, sometimes you have to take a stand, and even if people will say you're just doing it for clout, you're just doing it for optics, if you honestly believe that what you are doing is for a greater good and is the proper course of action, you have to stick with it. Because you cannot just take the moral high ground and then get off it when things go south. Because if you do, then you just prove them right that you're doing it for clout and everything. But if you stick to your ground, stick to it till the end, you just disproved everyone that you're not doing it. You just disproved everyone else that you're just doing it for clout. No, I'm doing it because I believe it's right. But again, you also have to be... It's very difficult because you also have to gauge the situation. When you take the moral high ground, are you making yourself look involved for the sake of being involved? Or do you have enough background on the issue that people can't say without confidence that, yeah, they're just doing it for clout? You kinda... You need some credentials to back you up. So, whenever someone makes a bad take about a fighting game, I have fighting game experience, so whenever I take the ground against it, I have something to back it up. But if someone like were to talk shit about, like, say, K-pop or something, I haven't listened. I'm not a K-pop fan, and I don't listen to K-pop, so I literally have no say about it. So if I have something to say against it, there's only so much I can talk about until my credentials, or my lack thereof, become very obvious.
Come back with proof.
Yeah.
Have
Alright.
facts.
Kazuki, you said you had 2. You mentioned 1. What's your other one?
So the other one is it's a bit of a rough one, right?
What is it?
So I said that I wouldn't talk about I said I wouldn't talk about indie community ones, right?
Yeah, let me guess, this is indie.
This is indie.
Well, we have to, because you and I are indie VTubers, so...
That is true.
Yep.
So, do you are you aware of Nux Taku and his as of ex-partner? What was the fucking name again? What was her name again?
The fact that you even mentioned Noxtaku and then indie VTuber, I'm like, whoa, I have no clue what's going on.
One sec.
But anyway, yeah, ex-partner. Okay, go on.
So, basically, to kind of sum things down, right? Oh yeah, that was the name, Fifi.
Okay.
Basically, ended up as a giant relationship stunt publicly, right? But ended up eventually turning into an extremely toxic relationship that kind of turned everything from yes to no. We're talking people eventually wanted to find every little creak and detail because it's juicy, you know? And make it sound even worse than it is. You know, people just genuinely looking to start drama or get attention. That kind of stuff. It's never good. Ayo.
I mean, I gotta say, as someone who lives in the Philippines, my god, chismis is what runs this country. And I hate it. I hate it. It's one of the most unethical things you can do. Like, ooh, private problems? Let's make it public. Fucker.
Let's make everyone know about it. It will become the next big drama on television.
Like, honestly, if you are the type that wants to make something private public, then you are a piece of shit.
Especially for clout.
Especially for clout. But, like, the only excuses I will give if it is a very controversial but important issue because the community behind it is unaware. That they need to be aware of. So there are many caveats. Like, the community doesn't know that their Oshi is doing this. Do they need to know? Like, do they absolutely need to know? If not, then let the proper parties involved deal with it. But if it is something that's detrimental to the community as well, then yes, that needs to go public. I mean, even content creators are not safe, and I've seen these cases before. I mean, I'll just mention 2 names. Let's start with Pro Jared and Zero.
Oh god.
We know how that went down. And we know how fast both of them got cancelled. Now, Zero recently came back, and the Smash community was like, yeah, you're not coming back to tournaments. Can't blame them for doing that after what he allegedly did. But, let's assume that Zero definitely feels remorseful for what he did, and wants to, redeem himself and genuinely apologize for what he has done. We should let him try. We should let him try. As for Pro Jared, very, very sad what happened to him. It didn't help him too that he's a man, so my god.
Like, ooh.
Yeah, it was very sad. And
Especially in the, well, I mean, it was during a time where it was very like one-sided.
yeah, it
Not
was
saying that everything's one-sided, but
no, but it was so like, oh my god.
yeah.
But I'm glad that Pro Jared has recently came back and he's slowly, you know, coming to peace with what happened. But my god, I feel so sorry for the man. Man got cleared up, but it was too late, way too late. Yeah, I know. It was definitely way too late. But what sucks is that it showed just how stupid the internet community can be. Like,
especially when they lose their focus.
yeah. To them, like, did they even care? Did they even care that all of these things that Pro Jared allegedly did were true? They didn't care because Pro Jared is big, and boy, do people love big images fall down so hard. They love that shit. They eat that shit up.
They love the literal phrase, the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Yes, they want to see it. What do they want to see more than a consecutive win? A choked loss. They want to see, like, someone on a 10-win streak, they want to see that fucker lose hard. They'll celebrate it like it's fucking Christmas or New Year. Now, there is something very toxic about that. Especially with how people celebrate losses. My goodness.
I know.
And I've seen this a lot in video games and fighting game tourneys in particular. My goodness. People can get very carried away. Like, you know why Zero retired?
Nope.
Zero retired because he was sick and tired of winning and the community just being against him every time he won.
Oh shit, so were they actually just going on the offensive and being like, yo, fucking lose?
No, not fucking lose, but like they really celebrated whenever he lost, and some booed him whenever he won.
What?
He has the best Smash record in history. When it comes to consecutive wins, no one comes close to beating him, ever. And boy, do people hate it. You can hate it in a good way. Like, hate it that no one has come close to beating it. Like, no one has been able to reach that level. Hate that. But don't hate the player for achieving that. So yeah, you have people like Zero that are like, yeah, fuck this, I'm done. Then you have people like HBox, Hungrybox, that can tolerate it, but if they pushed him over the edge just a bit more, he would have left the community, I believe. And I wouldn't have blamed him for it. It's really disgusting.
It's fucking nasty to even think about, especially in human nature, dude.
Yeah. Everyone like becomes toxic about what they want, that they cross boundaries that they shouldn't be crossing. I mean, we've seen this in sports several times. Like, remember in tennis? Remember that one female tennis player that was fighting another one, and this really obsessed fan wanted her to lose, that the fan harmed her on the court?
Jesus!
Yeah. I'm just like,
I mean,
okay, I get it. You want your favorite tennis player to win, but Jesus Christ, not at the extent that you have to intervene, you know? Holy fucking shit.
I found out a lot as well. Like in football in England, right? You get these dedicated fans who fucking go ahead and use laser pointers to fucking blind
I've seen that.
Yeah, they fucking blind the people. I'm like, what? Why? It's supposed to be a fair sport. It's
I mean,
fucking...
could you imagine, like, yeah, we beat them by unhanded tactics. Woo! Like, do you guys really wanna be? Do you guys really wanna be known for that? Like, really?
Oh
my god, that's disgusting.
Dude, there's gonna be some sudden rule where they say everyone has to wear these fucking laser reflecting glasses.
Anyway, so okay, next question. So, when are there signs or hints of a VTuber graduating that show prior to their announcements that fan bases communities pick up on?
Yes.
Yes, definitely. I'll start with this one.
Okay.
For Kylie Coco, prior to her graduation, her streams were very sporadic. Most of those streams happened at very specific times, and they were never consistently short or consistently long. Worse is also her overall vibe when she was streaming. I could tell that something was weighing down on her when she was streaming. I'm like,
her tone, her energy, her everything.
Like, I know Kiryu Coco, she is 100% like degenerate dragon of Hololive. But when you see her streams prior, you know something is off. Like, something serious is going on behind the scenes. So when you see some mannerisms, and worse, if when the VTuber doesn't acknowledge them, or doesn't talk about it in detail, it is a hint that they might consider or be already on the planning stage of a graduation. Like, normally, when I am at a very low energy for some reason, I openly say it, like, yeah, I'm feeling under the weather today, so not much energy coming from me, but I'm still gonna stream. Just so that, you know, like, I know people will worry, because, I mean, apparently, the amount of hours I spend streaming is quite long, so to speak. But, like, either way, I mean, that's irrelevant, but I just thought I'd mention it. Whenever a streamer feels very, opposite of what you usually see, then something's going on that they are dealing with at the same time when they stream. And it is of my honest belief that whenever a streamer, not necessarily just VTubers, when we stream, we try our best to leave our IRL problems outside of the stream. Okay? So, be it private problems, work problems, we leave that outside of the stream. We try our best to do that. But sometimes it's just so bad that you can already tell that, I think our VTuber had a bad day at work today.
Yeah, especially when it leaks into reality. It's one of the main reasons why I myself, I'm not streaming at the moment, you know?
Yeah, I get it.
People need breaks, and people need to take time for themselves. And especially in Kiryu Coco's case, you know? They had all this stuff weighing down on them, and to be fair, they were doing their best to keep it all private, which they really did.
Yeah.
It's just that it's breaking to personality, you know?
At the end, also, we didn't get any closure to as to why she really left. Yeah. But that's fine. What matters is that she's happy now. Alright. What's your response to this question?
So, there are quite a few signs that we can go for, you know? Especially, okay, so I'm going to talk on the more lines of the indie community rather than the big communities, like the corporations, because you were talking about corporations with Coco, right?
Yeah.
Now, within the indie community, you realize that once again they become more sporadic with their VTubing. They stream at random days, or they don't stream at all, or they take a giant break.
Yeah.
They become less active on social media, or they just lose their energy, you know?
Yeah. And worse also is when they pretend that it's not happening.
Exactly.
When they don't even want to talk about it with their audience, it means it's a very big deal.
It becomes toxic positivity.
Yep.
Like, you... see, fans will notice, because if they're true fans, they will pick up on things extremely quickly, you know?
Yep.
Like, hey, my favorite VTuber is... They seem a little bit down right now. I don't know what's going on. They don't seem like how they used to. Or, hey, you know what? This person's just kind of a little bit boring right now. You know?
Yep.
Or their vibes are not as, you know, audacious as they were. You know? Now, communities will pick up on, or communities and fans will pick up on this shit fucking easily.
Oh yeah.
Because, especially fans, because they make a mental connection with this Twitch streamer, you know, or this VTuber, you know.
Yeah.
It's, you know, hey, you know what? I like this person. I vibe with them. They've got my energy, you know. I fully accept their energy, and you know, there's a good communication, right? But there are hints.
There are hints, yeah.
There are hints that show degrading mental. Well, their mental is degrading. They're clearly not okay. They're forcing themselves to stream, or they're just generally tired, or they're overworking themselves. You know?
Yeah.
Like, we're not. If we're talking like 24-hour stream, you know, that's more. Hey, I just want to do a 24-hour stream, you know. But that's okay, because they can't keep up a personality for 24 hours. You know, it's impossible.
Yeah.
But if we're talking day-to-day, everyday stream from, I don't know, say 9 to 5 streaming, and you can tell that this person's going from hey to oh. Yeah, okay, let's go to the next thing, you know?
Yeah.
It shows that they're losing motivation.
Yep. And when this becomes more common, that's when fans start to worry, oh no, is she going on a hiatus or is she graduating? That's when when the inconsistencies become more consistent. That's when the worry starts to kick in.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, honestly, what we can do if our Oshi starts doing this, we should not pester them about it. Because if they don't want to share it with us on stream, it's gonna be worse and awkward for them when we ask them about it. Because we are telling them that we noticed you're off today. And they don't need to be reminded that, because I think deep down they know. And they just want to make us not worry. But when we worry, they'll worry even more. It's a dangerous cycle, so to speak.
Yeah, there's grounds.
So what you can do,
don't want to be broken.
What you can do is try to put up a face and pretend everything is fine, or go out of your way and try to make your Oshi a lot happier than they are right now. That's one thing you can do, but do not try to bring up the issue that they are hiding behind them. Well, don't try to pull that out from behind them. No, if they want to keep it behind them, let them keep it there.
Especially in the VTubing community,
Yes.
as we're talking, you know, 99% of the VTubing community is introverts who kind of want to have an escapist nature, you know?
Yeah.
Where they want to.
I am very introverted. It's the reason why I streamed as a VTuber. I'm very introverted.
It's the escapist nature, you know. You VTube because you don't have to be you. You can be the other you know.
Yeah, the other you.
The other you. But of course, when you're viewing a VTuber, you also kind of reckon that they'll have their own little things going on. But they don't want to talk about their social life, you know, unless they're openly talking about their social life, you know.
Yep. All right. Next question, which is the penultimate question. What do fan bases usually do after their Oshi graduates? Ooh, boy.
Okay, so...
Do you want to start with this one?
Yes. So I have full-on experience about this, mainly because of the people that I used to manage, alright? So this doesn't just happen with graduations, but with people taking hiatuses, you know. But normally they will either do one of like three things, you know.
Okay.
If they're fully dedicated to this VTuber, they will just kind of drift away, you know. If they kind of like the social group that they have, they'll kind of drift around these little social groups, you know. So let's say you know, Anari, let's say that you ended up deciding to take a big break, you know. People would probably gravitate to Mariva or
yeah, my
Shika,
mutuals,
you know? Yeah, they would gravitate to your mutuals, but they're but of course, if they're not, sorry, I got an email.
Oh, no problem.
No, yeah. If say Mariva doesn't have the content that you provided, you know, or Shika doesn't have the same vibe, they'll do the third thing that I'm gonna say, which is just kind of drift around the community, trying to find what they feel like is their space, you know?
Yeah.
It happens a lot, and it's a healthy cycle, you know? It's really, really healthy, but you, as a streamer, or at least as the VTuber, you know? Especially if you're graduating, maybe if you're taking a hiatus, maybe not, you know. But if you're graduating, we should encourage the community to spread their wings and try to see around and explore new options. You know, fertilize the crops, because there are VTubers who are, you know, sprouting, you know, they're looking to become the big new next thing, you know. And all we can do if we decide to graduate is, you know, give them a little helping hand.
Yes, I agree. For me, when it comes to what do the fan base do when their Oshis graduate, I simplify it into two categories. One is they move on, which is the most common one. They'll find any mutual. So for example, when Kylie Coco graduated, I'm guessing a lot of the Tatsunokos tried to fulfill their promise to Coco that they will support Gen 4 forever. Practically forever, and all of the Hololive talents, so that's what they're doing. The second category, really feel that their Oshi is one of a kind, and they will just stop right there. Now, not to say that they wouldn't consume VTubing content, but they wouldn't consume it the same way that they did for Kylie Coco. Now, let me explain what that means. Because I'm somewhere in between. When Kylie Coco graduated, before Kylie Coco graduated, I would regularly watch live streams of anything Hololive. But of course, I gravitated around the talents in Hololive that played the games that I play. So I gravitated around Botan, Towa, Aqua as well, because they play a lot of FPS and competitive multiplayer games. When Kylie Coco graduated, I just felt so demotivated watching Hololive in general because Kylie Coco is not there. So I have not watched a live Hololive stream since then. The only thing I've done recently really is just watch highlights of stuff I haven't seen. But I remember back then I was watching live streams even for Hololive JP talents that I couldn't fully understand because, like, yeah, sure, I have background in studying Japanese, but I'm not that fluent. I can sort of pick up what they say, but There are still parts of their streams that I don't understand, but I just love watching. But when Coco graduated, like, oof, I felt like a part of me that was in Hololive also left with Coco. Yep.
I feel like I was in the same boat, but I decided to gravitate more to V Shoujo. Mainly because they had the same kind of energy that Coco had, you know?
Yeah, they are unfiltered, and as my friend describes Niji-sanji, they are the unfiltered filtered equivalent.
Niji-sanji is more.
Niji-sanji is an unfiltered filter.
So then you got V Shoujo, which is, hey, look, there's literally Project Melody.
Yeah. So I'm just like, oh my goodness. But yeah, so usually when an Oshi graduates, a fan base will do one of two things. They'll either move on to the next Oshi, or they'll just stop right there because they were just that loyal to their Oshi.
Yeah, which is
I'm
kind of
somewhere
unhealthy for the system.
I'm somewhere in between. But I never really acted on it. Like, I never considered lambasting the other talents for not helping Kiryu Coco out or whatever. Like, no, it's not. I'm not in any place to do that. All right, last question. Oh boy, last question for this nearly 2.5-hour podcast. All right. Very awkward because I did not know you were planning to graduate when I asked this. So if you were to graduate, how would you do it?
So, that really depends on the circumstances, you know? So I genuinely don't have any plans on graduating, but if I did have plans on graduating, it would definitely be very supportive of the community, you know? We're talking, you know, I'd probably have a little 24-hour stream, invite some friends over, give some appreciation to the people who deserve it, and, you know, just hang out for the last time, you know? Definitely in no cases looking to, like, earn anything, you know? We're talking just... I just want to be able to celebrate it as a party, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Now, that would be, once again, that would be if I was wanting to graduate, but I'm not. So please don't kill me, KB, and out. But what about you?
I have juicy details that not many people know. You once thought of graduating. Hey, VTuber Uprising! Did you know that Kazuki Ikki Majima? Or I put a caption: the truth about Kazuki Ikki Majima Twitlonger.
Oh no! Don't!
Oh my god!
I've seen one of the members of the Afterlife, the guild that I used to be part of, you see. They did that on fucking Twitter. They were like, the truth about the Senyin. And then they said, you know, I'm just quitting. Yeah, I'm just kind of cool. I was like, putangina!
Yeah, I know. As for me, if I were to graduate, I wouldn't my graduation wouldn't be like a one-day thing. It would be a 1-week thing. Like, over the course of a week, I would do collabs with fellow VTubers in my community that are very relevant. Really important ones. I'd do a really good collab with each of them over the course of a week. And then for the last day, that would be when I really go all out. Like, I'll probably do like my last episode of Shrine Talk that day. My last Guilty Gear, Fortnite, whatever game with the community as well. And maybe I'll do stuff that I've never done before, so I can say that I tried it at least once before I graduated. Something like that. I would make a countdown time and pretend like the world's... Well, good thing neither
Fade
of
away.
But yeah, that's basically how I would go with the graduation. Because, I mean, it wasn't the graduation itself that really left a huge impression on everyone when Kylie Coco graduated. It was the streams that led up to it, I think, that really got the people, you know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because
they definitely were a lot like...
Because by then you could see that a lot of her fellow gen mates and even people from Hololive talents from other generations were coping with the fact that Coco is graduating and there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember the interview between Coco and Yago?
Yeah, I remember that one. And also Pecora, when she did a karaoke. My god, she broke down several times.
Oh,
during that karaoke, she broke down so many times. Because Kylie Coco was leaving. And then during, I think, the last art collab that Kylie Coco did, Botan, most of Gen 5 was there. And Botan, who is usually very composed, broke down in tears that stream. And of course, the final nail in the coffin that made every Tatsunoko and even just a Hololive fan or a VTuber fan cry was her farewell segment to each generation.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And of course, as I predicted, she saved her own gen for last. My god, that was so painful.
My heart.
And yeah, I remember that segment from Toa when she said, "You're really not gonna be here tomorrow." My god, that fucking line. And also, Hololive did one last episode of Hologra with her. She did not debut in another Hologra episode for a long time. Like, the gap between the last time she was part of a Hololive anime episode and the last one when she graduated, it was such a big gap. And of course, majority of the Tatsunokos and other VTuber fans, Hololive fans, shipped her with Kanata, and
They're literally roommates.
I did bawl when it was Kanata's turn. Because imagine that, you're in the same generation as Kylie Coco. The literal she's not the mascot of Hololive. No, that title I believe belongs to Pecora, I think.
It's either Pecora or Fubuki.
Yeah, Fubuki or Pecora. But Kylie Coco is the giant of Hololive. Like, I honestly think Hololive would not be known this well abroad were it not for Coco. I honestly think.
Oh, definitely. In fact, I'm pretty sure.
It's like a domino effect. You remember one of the most iconic Suisei clips that we have about her saying, "Hi, honey"?
Yeah.
Not a single talent would have considered pandering to their Western audience if it were not for Coco.
Basically.
So without Coco, Suisei and the others would not consider doing Duolingo, and we would not have that "Hi, honey" moment. We wouldn't. Holy shit, Hachama was destroyed during one of her streams. Yes, Hachama also was very much affected because it was kind of like a personal project for both of them. Because Hachama and Kylie Coco embraced the responsibility of bridging, was just bridging the whole Western, the Japanese community and the international community.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's we wouldn't have people like Mori Calliope if
Yeah,
well,
a
Mori
lot of
Calliope
it might sound like it might sound like an exaggeration, but honestly, Cover Corp had no reason for a long time, had no reason to consider hiring English-speaking talents were it not for Coco. We would not have Holo Myth or Holo. What's the other branch?
Holo.
No, not
what was it?
Yeah.
Holo Myth and Holo Guardians, some shit like that. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. We wouldn't have those two branches were it not for Coco.
Yeah. And now we just need more Holo Stars.
No joke, Coco graduating actually kind of kickstarted my want to get into VTubing. Council, thank you. Yeah, that's the one, Holo Council. We wouldn't have those two branches were it not for Coco and Hachima, but more importantly Coco, because Hachima had the blueprint. She did not have the materials and the tools to make it go somewhere. That's what Coco had.
Mm-hmm.
This stream legit just turned into a We Miss Kiryu Coco stream. I mean, I don't miss Kiryu Coco because she's already moved on. I have moved on. It's just that her footprint in the VTubing community is just so big that her graduation in turn is also very big. She impacted the VTubing community so much that her graduation also was a huge impact. So yeah. Almost auditioned for Holostars EN. Probably would have if not for the recent events right around when they opened. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure with Holo EN, Holostars.
One of my friends even told me like you should. One of my friends told me like this was when I was already starting gaining steam here on Twitch as Inarioko. They were like, you should audition for Holostars EN or Nichisanji EN, and I'm like, thing is, if I do that, I'm not in control anymore of myself, and that is very important to me because I just look at my Discord, I look at the people I interact with every day, I look at my followers, my subscribers. I want to be able to control how I interact with them. I don't want to the next time I play Fortnite, I can't play with Sheikah, I can't play with Chaos, I can't play with Senna, Kappa, Roa, or anyone in my community. Like, no, I can't do that. Like, I love them too much to... I love them too much to trade them just for better,
better connections.
No, not better connections. No, for a more secure... more financial security. There you go. That's the term.
Yeah. You know, in fact, about that, I'm pretty sure that they kind of completely just decided not to hire anyone for Holo EN.
Yeah,
so they ended up. They fucking what was it? They ended up purchasing the rights for another group that were already small enough called Uproar. So I'm like. Okay.
As for financial security as a VTuber, like I already decided that I'm just gonna work my way up to it, staying indie, because like it's just so fun being an indie VTuber. Like yeah, sure, it's not financially the most secure option, but when you get there, you'll get there. You'll eventually get there if you see it through to the end. If you're in this. If you're in it for a penny, then you're in it for a pound, so to speak.
Exactly, but the big thing is like it's all the motivation you have to put into this, because 9 out of 10 you're not gonna get big unless that day comes by where you are able to connect all the dots and
you hit your mark.
You hit your mark. You hit your mark. You're able to finally get the attention that you deserve, and then suddenly, boom, you're big.
Yep.
It's not going to stay like that all the time because you know people like to change a lot, but you know, that's it.
And I mean, like I like this quote. I forgot where I heard it. Like you know the quote, "Opportunity doesn't strike twice." Something like that. Opportunity doesn't knock on your door twice.
I think
something along those lines. somebody followed up with that by saying, those who leave more doors open are get luckier more often.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm just like, oh, that is a very nice perspective. Like, you have to be able to lend yourself to opportunities to be able to land a good opportunity, you know. The
you
more
gotta leave all these doors open,
yeah,
you know?
the more you stream, the luckier you will get. As to when, it's not really a matter of if, and I honestly believe it's only a matter of when. Sometimes you only need one viral moment to get big. Sometimes you'll need more, but the more you do it, the luckier you will get every time you stream, that you'll eventually get there. So yeah. Anyhow, that's it. Thank you for the holy shit. How long was this? 3 hours?
About 3 hours now, yeah.
Yeah. 2 hours 40 minutes. My god, such an important talking about graduating VTubers.
Yeah, it is, once again, it's a deep topic that, like, once again, people don't really want to talk about because it's a scary topic, you know?
It is a very scary topic, but it's very important, yeah. Alright, before I formally end this, first off, I want to thank my guest, Kazuki Ikki Majima, for, finding the time to be here and sort of adjust his schedule with mine. And of course, for the idea also, he provided the idea of talking about this before. And also, can I ask y'all something? Go ahead. You can ask us while I do this. Don't worry. Of course, I also want to thank everyone in the chat for being very professional about this, being very wholesome as well. And of course, Hifumi Dot as well a while ago for the raid. Thank you very much. For those who don't know, Hifumi Dot was the person who made my layout for OBS. Not this one, but I'll briefly show you guys. Question mark. Oh wait, no. Yeah, this one. This one was made by Hifumi. He made the scenes as well. So yeah. That's a cute layout. Thank you. All right. Oh, what you think about younger VTubers, like minor VTubers? Oh boy. Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off with this one.
All right, go ahead. It's yours.
It's definitely a bit of a risky business, you know?
It's very,
because we are talking about, once again, we're talking about minors in a community full of adults that are also, very
liberal.
Yeah.
Let's just say liberal, yeah.
Yeah, let's just say liberal, you know? Now, it is bound to happen because, of course, the community is definitely very big, you know? Every community is, of course, going to have its minors, you know?
Yeah.
And juniors that want to join. But it's a matter of how careful you are, you know? Because it's the internet still. It's scary, you know?
It is. It's very scary and very dumb.
Yeah. As long as they're not interacting with the wrong people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Everything is good.
Yeah.
What about you, Anar?
Let's see. For a minor VTuber, like, I mean, even in esports, there are age limits, and how do I say this? I mean, we already have like maturity ratings for video games and movies, so I'm confident that Twitch does have something similar. I mean, Fortnite, for example, their support creator program, minors can earn money playing Fortnite, making content for Fortnite. But of course, there are caveats. So, in my opinion, if a system can welcome a minor with proper caveats to protect them, I think that's fine. But
Okay, so
the thing is, the difference between how do I say this? The problem with being a minor VTuber is that you have the problem with the anime trope, and yes, I'm being very specific here. The anime trope of old character that only looks like a child but it's not really a child trope.
yeah.
And that's the problem. Now, there are two the reason why I say this is a potential problem is that, first off, a minor can decide to get a VTuber model that looks minor because it matches them. Like, I'm a minor, so my VTuber model should look like a minor. Makes sense. But you might... a minor can also be a bit savvy about it and, like, pedo bait. I hate
Yeah.
that's the thing.
That's the
danger there.
Really
That's the danger there. They can be very pedo baity about it, and oh my god, like, ugh. And I have seen this controversy happen before on Twitter. I'm not gonna say the account. I think you guys know, but like it's not really a VTuber account, but it is a Twitter account that supports VTubers, and it came out recently that they were a minor, and the kind of content they do isn't really suited for minors, I would say. So I'm just like, oh dear.
Are we talking about the one from the VTuber group?
No, not a VTuber group, no.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to mention their name because they were doxxed, so yeah, I don't want to stoke the fire again. But yeah, like, it was finally revealed that they were a minor, and I'm just like, yikes. The problem is that when you are a minor in a platform with a lot of adults, you have to explicitly say that you are a minor. You have to make it difficult for your fan base to not know that you are a minor.
Yeah.
So basically, make it as easy as possible for them to know that you are a minor. You really have to do that.
Just adding it to your description and everything.
Description, yeah. Like, even in your tags. Even in your tags. I think there is a tag for that. Actually, let me check right now. If I edit this...
to be fair, I feel like it sounds very bad if Twitch does that.
Yeah.
You know, just adding a minor tag. Oh, pedophile material.
Yeah, like, there has to be a better way to do about it, though. It's like, ugh.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
Honestly, don't know.
Yeah, very complicated problem right there. So, I would say
like,
tread carefully is my best advice. Tread very carefully.
Like you were saying, just anime trope as well.
The anime trope
especially
is also a
with
problem.
VTuber.
Yeah, the anime trope is a problem.
Like, you could have they could, you know, look, I want to have a chibi model and look cutesy and all, but fucking guy over here who doesn't know their age is like, oh, you're gonna play a sweet model.
Yeah. Alright, like I was saying, of course, a while ago, thank you again. This is episode 19 of Shrine Talk. Now, before I move on to my thing, I want to give Majima Kazuki the red carpet for now. If you want to promote anything or do a shout out, the carpet's yours.
I don't have anything I can really promote right now. I don't have anything going on because I'm currently on hiatus.
Alright, so well, there's that then.
Yeah, if anything, feel free to follow me on Twitch or Twitter, Kazuki Majima.
Let me give you a shout out then. Kazuki. Right there.
I don't expect to be streaming anytime soon because I'm currently fixing my own life right now. But if anything, I'll be just happy to see you around next time I stream, or if you just want to get in contact with me, feel free to hit me up on Twitter. I'm always around.
Yeah, and sometimes like Kazuki does join my lobbies sometimes for some games, so there's that as well. Alright, let's see. For those who haven't followed me on Twitter yet, if you want to stay up to date whenever I announce when I go live or when I just post stuff, follow me on Twitter. And if you want to interact with me and the other Foxtrots, I am very, very active with Discord, so please do not hesitate to join the Discord. I am very, as again I said, I am very, very active there. Okay, I will end the stream here, but after a quick 10-minute break-ish, I will be streaming some more Fortnite in a bit, because I'm also gonna be helping some of my friends farm more experience points for the battle pass, and I don't know, I've been having so much fun with Fortnite, so I'm gonna keep playing it.
You do what you want to, King.
What? Sorry, what?
You do what you want to, King.
Ah, yes, thank you. Alright. And you take care of yourself, Kazuki.
No problem.
Bald. Yoko, you going to the live event? I'll try. I mean, I don't know what time it is going to be, but I'll try. Can't make any promises, but I'll try. Alright, I'll see you all in a couple of minutes, but I'll still end the stream because I need to set up my my laptop, which is my second rig, because that's how I stream games. I have tasted the forbidden fruit. That is a dual PC setup.
Oh, so you got one stream rendering the... Sorry, you got one computer rendering the stream and the other one fucking...
Just playing games, so that my performance on that is not affected at all.
You are very fucking wise. It's just so expensive.
I mean, it's not really... Well, for me, my second rig is just my really old gaming laptop. So I'm just like, oh yeah, it has a 1070 as a graphics card, but I'm not playing on it, so who cares? I may as well use it to stream, right?
I mean, I guess.
Right? It seems like the better option. Instead of like, I don't think I can find a buyer because it's a 1070. People are not gonna buy a 1070 from the 10 series. They'd either get a 1660 Super or a 1080 Ti if they can even find one.
Well, I mean, then again, I swear as well, you can just buy straight from the production. In
Yeah.
Which is cheaper.
Which is cheaper, yes, you can. But I cannot sell. I call my very sleek and cool black gaming laptop Wesker. I cannot sell Wesker, so I may as well keep him working, you know.
Huh, Wesker.
Yeah, from Resident Evil.
Yes, I know.
I freaking love Wesker. I mean, sure, there's still something iconic about Resident Evil 1 Wesker and Resident Evil 0 Wesker, but the voice actor for Wesker from 5 onwards still did a really good job.
Wesker's voice pierces the fucking sun.
Yes, he does. Like, I mean, my ex-girlfriend, but I'm still very close to her even now. I mean, she has a boyfriend right now. My ex had a major crush on Wesker. When I introduced her to the Resident Evil series, and she's like, "Who's that hot-sounding British guy?" I'm like, "That's Wesker." "Is he a villain?" I'm like, "Yes." God damn it! Why do I have another villain crush? I'm like, I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Wow, it's a villain. That's hot.
No, more like, damn it, why is it that the villains have to be hot-sounding Brits? Anyway, I will see you all in a couple of minutes after I have my snack. おつよこでした。私の配信に来てくれて本当に光栄です。ありがとうございました。Good evening, good night, and have a good day, my precious Foxtrots. I will see you all in a couple of minutes. Bye-bye!
Later!